Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this practice, this notes page, as you were working this week on right triangle trigonometric ratios. We like to kind of say that that is called SOH CAH TOA. That's our way of remembering sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and that's why we use those letters O and H, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, if you look down here, is adjacent over hypotenuse, or CAH, and then TOA stands for tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, or TOA. So that's why we're using SOH CAH TOA as kind of a reminder of what values that we need to input into this. So we have two triangles here, and it's asking you to find the sine, the cosine, and tangent of both angles. So if I'm just focusing here on angle A, and I want the sine of A. Now, it's shortened as sin for 3 letters, but it does mean sine. Cos means cosine, and tan means tangent. And these are ratios of the sides to the angles inside of a right triangle. So if I'm looking here at A, we said that sine is our opposite over our hypotenuse. So the opposite is this length here. It's across from angle A. So we're going to use 5 over our hypotenuse. And our hypotenuse is always across from that 90-degree angle. That is 13. You can leave your answer as a fraction for this practice, but if you wanted to go ahead and change it into a decimal, you would do 5 divided by 13, and you're going to get about 0.38. B says, okay, now find the sine of angle B. So I'm going to switch colors. This is angle B. And this time, again, I want the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite of B, across from B, is 12. And the hypotenuse is still 13. So I'm going to leave it as a fraction, 12 over 13, or you can divide it, and you're going to get about 0.92. Okay, C says find the cosine of A. So cosine is CAH, C-A-H. A stands for adjacent or next to, and H stands for hypotenuse. So the one that is next to angle A is this one right here. It's right next to the angle. That's 12. And then the one that is the hypotenuse, again, is 13. And if you notice, we already have that fraction solved for. So we're going to get about 0.92. Letter D says find the cosine of angle B. So I'm going to go ahead and erase some of these lines in here. That way we're not getting confused. So angle B, cosine again means adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent side to B is 5. And the hypotenuse we said was 13. And if you look, we actually already have that fraction solved for too. We're going to get 0.38. Letter E says find the tangent of A. And so we have SOH CAH, and then we have TOA. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So if I'm looking at where A is, right here, the opposite side is 5, and the adjacent side is 12. So we don't have this one solved for yet. So I'm going to do 5 divided by 12, and I'm going to get about 0.42. And then letter F says find the tangent of B. And again, tangent is our opposite over adjacent. So the opposite of B is 12. And then the adjacent, that side next to B, is 5. So if I do 12 divided by 5, I'm going to get about 2.4. And so you're going to do all of that on problem 2 as well. Find the sine, cosine, and tangent of all of your A's and B's. And then you're going to be using your worksheet in Google Classroom. Use this same kind of skill. And again, this is going to be your most helpful tool here is SOH CAH TOA, so that you know which process you're going to use, whether it's sine, cosine, or tangent.